Okay, great. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are doing the section from. So my name is Thomas Cudjoe. I'm going to take you through how to improve your research experience with Power BI. So let me introduce myself briefly, then I can go into the section. So my name is Thomas Cudjoe. As I mentioned, I'm the lead trainer and founder of Firstman Learning Hub. I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP, a Microsoft Certified Power BI Analyst, and also a certified trainer. So this section is to expose you to some of the tools and functions that we have in Power BI that you can leverage to improve your user experience as you develop your dashboards and reports. So I'm going to highlight some of the few options that we have in Power BI that you can use to improve your user experience when you are designing reports and then dashboards. So I'm going to take you through 3 main things on how you can improve your user experience. One is about how to show details when you are designing Power BI reports and a dashboard. The other one would be on how to improve your user interactions as they engage and visualize, as they engage with your visuals and then dashboards. Then I'll also show you how you can also highlight values to help your users to get the insights that they want from your visualizations. So let's start with how we can show details, the options that we have when it comes to showing details. Now, when it comes to showing details on your Power BI reports or dashboards, these are the ways that you can use that will help to avoid clutter and make sure that the users are able to find the information that they need. One of the options is to create drillable visualizations. So drillable visualizations helps your users to drill down to get details from your report or the dashboard whenever they need to get such information. So when you are designing Power BI reports, instead of putting everything on the dashboard or the report, that will make it clumsy and then your users would have to struggle to find the insight they need. You can create a drillable visual, which will enable your users to drill down anytime they want to get more information. The other option that we can also use when we are designing Power BI reports in order to provide enough insight for our users is to use tooltips. So I'm going to show you 2 ways that we can create tooltips within Power BI that will help your users to get information that they need. Then I also take you through how to create drill throughs. And this is about creating pages, which allows your users to move to other pages to get additional information whenever they need to. So I will take you through all that when I switch onto the demo. I've already spoken about this. The other option that we also have when it comes to improving user experience is to highlight values. And when you highlight values within your report or your dashboard, it makes it easier for your users to find the information that they need. And this is one of the ways that you can improve your user experience with your Power BI report. And within Power BI, we have conditional formatting that helps you to highlight numbers within your visuals. That will make it easier for your audience to really understand what is going on and also spot trends and patterns within your data or the visuals. Within Power BI, with the conditional formatting, we can apply it to the font. We can also apply data bars to highlight these values. And you can also use icon sets, which also helps you to bring your data to life. Then we also look at improving user interactions. So here we are looking at some of the things that we can include within our Power BI reports and visuals that will help our users to interact with the visuals that we have. And one of the ways that we can do this is to use slices, which enables your users to filter and slice the data to get the insights that they want. The other option is to edit connections. Now within Power BI, when you create visualizations, they interact with each other. Now, if you don't manage that interaction, you may end up confusing your users. So we are going to look at how we can edit those interactions to provide an amazing experience for the users as they interact with the visuals that you have within your Power BI report. Then we're also going to look at bookmarks, how you can bookmark pages and other visuals. to enable your users to get more insight from your data. The other option is to use buttons. So I will take you through some of the options that we have when it comes to Power BI buttons. So these are the things that we are going to look at. So I'm going to switch you to Power BI, then you can take a demo of all these things and how you can implement it from your end. So this is an example. I hope you can see my new screen, the Power BI.
Yeah, we can see it.
So this is an example of a drillable visual. So if you take a look at this, we are visualizing sales, order quantity, profit and profit margin by segment. So here, these are the segments that we have. Now within this report, we have also given our users the option to drill down to get additional information whenever they need to. For example, if they take a look at this data point here we are looking at segments, which is enterprise. So we have their sales, we have the product order quantity, we also have the profit margin and the profit. Now, if a user wants to drill down into this particular data point, so for example, you want to know more about the enterprise, what products are we selling, what particular locations are giving us these values, a user can just click on the button here and they'll be able to expand this to get additional insights. So this gives them the details. So instead of displaying everything on the face of the visualization, using the drillable buttons, a user will be able to get the details whenever they want to. So here I can collapse this. And maybe they want more information about government. They just click on the button and they'll be able to get that insight quickly on the visualization. So instead of displaying the whole information on the visual, using the drillable visualization, you'll be able to minimize the kind of information that you have on the visualization. Then you give the user the option to drill down whenever they want to get that information. It's the same experience that we have on the column chart here. So here we have sales by different countries. Now, for example, if you take the sales for Canada, I want to drill down to understand this in terms of segments. So I want to know what particular segment drives the sales in Canada. When a user clicks on this, the user should be able to get that insight. So here when I click again, when I click, it drills down, and now I'm looking at the performance by segment. So it tells me that when it comes to Canada, most of the sales is being driven by the government segment. Now I can drill up, and now let's say United States. I want to understand the sales for United States. I just click on this. I'm able to drill down into the performance by segment. So using one visualization, we have been able to provide more information to our users. So here, instead of showing this separately on one visual and showing the sales by country on another visualization, using drillable option, I've been able to do that in one visualization. So here, if the user wants to go ahead and get more information, he just clicks on the visualization, then it drills down or it expands for the user to understand what is going on. So instead of putting everything on the visual, using this, you enable your users to really drill down as and when they want to get the details. So if I want to drill down into Mexico, just click on this, then it opens up for me to see the performance by segment. Then I also talked about using tooltips. So this is an example of a tooltip. Now when you hover on this, you see that you get more information for each of the data points that you are going to hover your mouse over. So here when I hover on this, it shows me the discounts, it shows me the orders, it shows me the cost of sales, profit, and the sales amount. This is an example of a tooltip. Now let me show you another tooltip. So when you hover over this, for example, this is showing the sales by product. But when you hover, you get the details of this sales amount by country. So here when you hover, for this particular product, it tells you that most of the sales is coming from the United States, and Mexico is the country where we are not getting enough sales from. Now, when you hover on this, it gives you another story. When you hover on this as well, it also gives you another information. So here, when you hover here, it gives you the breakdown of the sales by country. This is also an example of a tooltip. So I will show you how you'll be able to configure all these things. Then we also have an example of conditional formatting. So here, using conditional formatting options, you'll be able to highlight values within your visualization. So here, quickly, when you are looking at these items, quickly using the data bars, you can see that this is where most of the revenue is coming from. Okay, so using conditional formatting, you'll be able to highlight key takeaways or trends within your data. Here we are looking at profit margin. By using that icon set, you can see the places where the company is making losses. So here, quickly, when you look at this, you see that this way we are making a loss. We are making a loss here. When you scroll down, you'll be able to see them quickly as compared to just displaying the numbers. So this is one of the ways that you can improve your user experience. Then another way is to use buttons. So there's a button here. So here we have buttons that navigate to other pages within the report. So here, if the user wants to move from one page to the other, you just click here and they move to the other pages. Now, using the buttons, you'll be able to provide a web-like experience for users. So here, if a user wants to move to other pages, they just click on the button. For example, I want to go to the drillable visuals. When the user clicks on this, it takes them to that page. Okay, let me come back. When a user clicks on, let's say, bookmarks, user clicks, and it brings them to that page. So what we do is that we configure this for all the pages so that from one page you can move to the other, from the other page you can also move to another page. But for this demo, I just did it for one page for you to see. Another way that you can also improve user experience is to use some of the AI-powered visualizations. An example of this is the Q&A visual. You know, as a data analyst or maybe a report designer, you can't really anticipate all the questions that users are going to ask about the data. So using the Q&A, you can also provide additional options for your users to ask questions using natural language. For example, with this data, if I use this, the user can ask, okay, maybe show total quantity by country. And users will be able to, okay, since we don't have quantity here, let me see some of the fields that we have. Okay, so let's say total profit. We show profit by country. So they're just using natural language. When you query the data, you get the feedback in the form of a visual. So here, if the user is not able to get that information from the report, they can use the Q&A, which also gives them the option to ask their own questions. They'll be able to get feedback. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So let's start with a drillable visualization. So here I want to create a visualization that is drillable. A user can drill down to get insights. So let me create a new page, okay, or maybe get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this and then create a new one. So I'll create a visual. So here I'm going to use matrix. So I have this here, okay. So I have my fields. So what I want to show is to show segments. So I just check my segments, and then I'm going to pick maybe total audits. So I have this. I also want to show total profits. I also want to show the profit margin and maybe cost of sales. Then add the last thing, let's say sales amount. So you see that when you check my fields, you see that inside the rows, I have just the segments. Then I have these as the values. Now, if I want my users to be able to drill down, into maybe something else, for example, maybe products, then I can just drop the products under the segments. So in my columns, I have two things. I have segments and then products. So now when you come back, you see that this is now drillable. So here, user can click on the plus, they can see the details. User can click on this to expand, and they'll be able to see the details as and when they want to see it, instead of just showing everything on their face. So here, you just click on this, and they'll be able to see it. Okay. So this is how you'll be able to create a drillable visual. So this has to do with matrix. Now, if you want to do that with a chart or a graph, let's say this graph, I'm going to move it. So I'll create a new one. So I'll come in here, pick my start column chart. So what I want to display is country. I want to show their total profit. So I'm going to pick profit from here. So I have this here. Okay. So now the user clicks on this, nothing happens. It's just about filtering the data. Okay. Now I want to make it such a way that when a user clicks on each of them, a user can drill down into the next level. Now the next level I want them to be able to see is the performance by product. So for each country, I want them to be able to analyze their performance by product. So when I come to my field, I drag the product and I drop it here. Now you see this, it's that now it has drilled down into country and the product. Now I'm going to drill up. So now you are seeing the performance by countries. Now if I want to make it drillable when a user clicks on it, I have to turn this option on. Click here to turn on the drill down. Zoom in. So here on top of the visual, you see that you have some icons. When you turn this on, it means that when a user clicks on it, it will automatically drill down. So here, if a user wants to see, okay, France, what product sales make up the total for France? The user just clicks on it, and it expands. Now you see that they are looking at performance by product. And zoom out. If I want, maybe from product, I want them to be able to drill down to segments. Then I can also drag the segments and drop it into the x-axis. So right now, let me drill out. I'm going to turn on this option. Okay. So for example, we want to understand more about our sales or profit in Canada. The user just clicks on it. He sees the product that are contributing to the profit. So here you can see that this is the product which is driving the profit for Canada. Okay, with this product, let me analyze the performance by segment. I just click on this, then it expands, then I'm looking at the performance by segment. And here you can quickly see that it's a government segment which is driving the profit for that particular product that we highlighted. Now, if I also want to go back, just click here, drill out, then move on to the final level where you see the performance by country. So this is about creating drillable visuals. Now let's look at tooltips. Now within this, when you hover your mouse over this, you see that you get more information. So this, it shows you the data points, it shows you the order, cost of sales, profit, and all that. This is giving users more information. But here, we are not displaying it on the visual itself or the reports, which will make it very difficult for them to find the info. So here, when they hover, they get the information. When they hover here, they see the information. So I'll show you how to keep something like this. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Keep something similar. Let's say, let's pick a donut charts. Expand it. Okay. And here, what we want to show is to look at maybe total sales by segments. So I'll pick my sales. So I have this here. Now, when you hover, by default, it shows you that data point that you have hovered over and then the value. So here, what we have hovered here is for segments and for government, and the sales amount is 52 million. Now, aside the sales amount, I want my users to get additional information. For example, what is the profit for the segment that I have hovered over? Now, what is the total units sold? Now, what is the profit margin? I want to be able to add all this info so that within one visualization, they get a lot of things instead of displaying it or creating another visual, which might take up some spaces. Okay, so let's see how we can configure this to show more info. When I select this, then here you see that we have tooltips when it comes to the fields. Okay, you see that we have the fields here, but here you see that we have another bucket for tooltips. So here you can add any field that you want to show when a user hovers on the data point. So here I want them to be able to see the units sold or total of this. So I'll drag and drop this into the tooltip. I want them to be able to see the profit. I want them to be able to see the profit margin. Okay, I've already added this. Now let's say I want them to be able to see the profit itself. I'll drop that here. That's all. Now when you hover, we see that this time it shows more information. So it shows the segments, that this is government. It shows you the sales, it shows you the orders, it shows the profit margin. And when I hover over this is for small business. So with small business, the sales amount is 42, the total orders is 153, and then the profit is 4.1, which translates into a profit margin of 9.77%. So with this, you're able to give your users amazing experience by giving them the information they need without sacrificing or maybe putting everything on the visual, which will make it difficult for them to understand what is going on. Okay. The other way that we can keep a tooltip is to use report page tooltip. So an example of a report page tooltip is this. This is a report page tooltip. Okay, that pops up when a user hovers on the data points. So let's say you want to create one. What you need to do first is to create a page that you are going to use for the page tooltip. So it's a tooltip page. Okay, so you have to create a new page for it. So I'm going to click on the plus button here to add a page. Okay. Now, with this page, I have to explicitly tell Power BI that I want to use this page for tooltip. So when you keep a blank page here under visuals, you zoom in, under visualizations, you come to the side, format report page. When I click on this, you see that we have canvas settings. I'll go to canvas settings and we have type. So by default, you'll be having the 16:9. You click on the drop down, you see that we have tooltip. I'm going to pick tooltip. Now you see that the size will decrease because a tooltip page shouldn't be like a normal or regular page. It has to be something small, just like what you saw when you configured on the visualization. So you have this here. So I can go ahead and then create a visualization that I want it to pop up when a user hovers on a visual. So here, you see that it's very small. I want it to be like a regular page so I can configure it properly. So I'll go to view, and I pick page view, and I'm going to pick page to page. So you have something like this. So here I'm going to create a very simple visual. So let's say I'm going to create a donut chart. Okay, that will show countries and their total profit. So I'll pick country, and then total profit. So we have this here. I'm going to resize it. Now let's configure it. So I'll go to format visual. Then I'll go to the data labels. You see the labels that we have here. This is what is known as detail labels. I'm going to change it. I want the countries to be part of the labels. So you specifically know that this is for this specific country instead of using the legend that we have here. So I'm going to expand this. And with the label content, I'll click on the drop down. I just want the category and the percentage. Now you see that the countries have been attached to the data labels. If that's the case, we don't need this legend, right? So I'm going to turn it off so I can have enough space for the visual. So here, clearly, you can see that this is for Canada, Germany, France, Mexico, and United States. Now I want my users to get this information when they hover on the visualization. For example, here, that this is showing the top 3. This is showing sales by product. Now for each of them, when I hover, I want to see the profit breakdown by country. Okay, so the way you do this is after you have created the page that you want to use, you can rename it. So let's say tooltip. So here is country. Let's say country. So this is the tooltip. Okay, now this is the first stage. Now once you are done with this, you need to come to the visualization that you want to configure. So in our case, we want to apply it on this one. So I'll select it. Okay, then you go to format visual. Then you go to general. Okay, we zoom in. Then you go to general. Then you see that we have tooltips. Expand this. And when you expand, you see that we have type. So I'll click on the drop down. So there are two types. We have the default and then the report page. So the one I showed you initially, where when you hover, you see that small thing with all the details is the default. Then the one that you are seeing here is the report page and the one that we are going to configure. So here I'm going to change it and pick report page. and then we need to select the page that we want to use. So I'll click on the drop down, and then the tooltip that we did for the countries here. So I'm going to pick it. And now when a user hovers, they see that visual. Now let me zoom out. When you hover now, you see that the pie chart will be showing, which is giving the user the information they need by looking at the profit by country. So when you hover on this product, it tells you which particular country drives the profit for this specific product. So you can clearly see that Germany is a country that drives the profit for the product. Now when I come here, see that the story is different. Now the country that drives the profit for this is Canada. And when I hover on this, I also see that information. So using this, you'll be able to provide more insight for your research without sacrificing or maybe providing too much information on the face of the report, which is going to make the whole report clumsy, and then you'll find it difficult to even navigate. So using this, you can provide your research with an amazing experience. I remember in my office, I did something like this for my boss, and he was really impressed with the kind of information that he can get just within one page. Just within one page. So using this, the users will have all the info without giving them too much information or information overload. But here they get it as and when they want to see it. Now let me, for the time's sake, let me look at the last thing. Let me show you the last thing on this, and then you can wrap up. So I'll go to the Q&A, which is also one of the ways that you can help your users. One thing is that as you develop the report, you may have a lot of users who have different things that they want to look at. As a data analyst or maybe a report designer, you should be able to engage them and understand what they want. But at any point in time, they might want other things, which they maybe they couldn't even mention at the research stage. Now, why don't we give them the option where they can also get what they want? So when you develop the report, you can also add Q&A visual, which is AI powered. So it helps the users to query the report or the data using natural language. So I give an example like this. Now let's see an example here. So I will say, what's the total profit by segments? Total is wrong. What's the total profit by segment? Now it gives it to you. Now I can tell you to show this a specific visualization. So here you can quickly see the profit by segments. Let's say I want for this total for this by segments. Now it gives it to you. Now maybe I want this on a pie chart. I can specifically tell it to show it on a pie chart. So here total this by segments on pie chart. It will go ahead and do it for you. So now we have it this way. So once as a report designer, you are not there and you are giving your users this opportunity or this option, they can get everything that they need. So let me show you how you can do one or you can kit one. So the Q&A is just like any of the visualizations that we have here. What you need to do is to just click on the Q&A and it pops up. Okay, so here the users can ask any information about the data. So just add it, maybe just make it a very small and then put it somewhere. Or probably you can use a button, okay, to do this. So for example, I can go to insert. Then I go to buttons. With the buttons, you see that we have Q&A. I can click on this. This will be added somewhere, maybe somewhere here. Okay, and you can add a description that allows the users to know that when they click on this, this is what they see. So here, when the user clicks on it, it opens up the Q&A where they can ask questions. So here, what's this those amounts by product. It gives it to you like this. Now, once they are done with this, they can choose to include this as part of the report. If they want to add it to the report, they can do it. So for example, with this one, we remove this. For example, with this one that we have here, okay, if a user wants to, oh, this is nice, let me add it to my report. You can click on this It says turn this Q&A result into a standard visual. So I can click on this and this will convert it into a visual, just like I have created it myself. So this will then be part of the report that the user is having access to. So I can resize this and place it somewhere. Okay. So now this is done. So this will be resizes and place it here. So using the Q&A, a user can query the data in their own language and they'll be able to get the insights in the form of a visual. Now, once you have it this way, you can format it, you can configure it just like any of the visuals that you have inserted yourself. So another way that you can use it is when you need to develop some ad hoc reporting. You already have the data, your boss is put together some dashboard for you for a meeting that is going to have in the next 10 or 5 minutes. You can use the Q&A visual, which you can ask the question, gives you the feedback, and you can quickly convert it into standard visualizations like what you have here. And you can quickly put the report together. Remember, this is AI. So it helps you to really dig deeper into the data and help you to find the insights that you need. So these are some of the few ways that you can use to improve your user experience. So as you develop the report, think about the users, what they want to get, but look at the smart ways that you can find to help them to get the information without displaying too much info that will make it difficult for them to digest or understand what is going on. So that's why I'm going to end the section. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Here in person in Durban, we don't have any questions. I'm not too sure if everyone that's online has any questions around building Power BI dashboards and reports, let alone factoring in user experience design within your dashboards. I've never actually thought about it before. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I found it challenging in building reports, because sometimes I would feel like the data that I'm showcasing to those who are consuming the report is not really meaningful and not providing value to them. So this session that you just did, Thomas, is really an eye-opener. So thank you so much for it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So if there isn't any other questions, I guess we can just move right along to our last but not least session for today with Victoria. Victoria, I think you can take it away if you're there.